You are not yet where you aspire to be, not because you're incapable, not because you lack intelligence, but because your approach to thinking has not yet been elevated to the level of solving world-class problems. This video isn't about hype. It's about transformation. It's for those who are no longer satisfied with average. It's for those ready to reprogram their mindset for wealth, innovation, and long-term significance. Let's examine Elon Musk, not the billionaire, but the framework. The framework of someone who asks better questions, makes better decisions, and takes bigger, more calculated risks than the average person. Most people look at Elon and see the success, the companies, the headlines, the net worth. But what you should be studying is the way he thinks. Because the real wealth, the kind that reshapes industries and legacies, is born in how you interpret reality and respond to uncertainty. Let's begin with this. Your results are a lagging indicator of your mindset. If you're constantly overwhelmed, under-earning, and underperforming, it's likely not your circumstances, but your framework that needs upgrading. Elon Musk operates from a principle called first principles thinking. It's a cognitive tool derived from physics, and it's one of the most powerful ways to make clear, high-leverage decisions in a noisy world. Here's how it works. Most people reason by analogy. They do what others are doing, assuming it's right. Musk breaks things down to the most fundamental truths and then reconstructs from the ground up. Take electric vehicles. When others said EVs are too expensive, Musk asked, what are the raw materials of a lithium-ion battery? What do those components actually cost? He found that it wasn't the materials that were expensive. It was the outdated, inefficient manufacturing processes. So he built a new system. That's how Tesla was born, not from copying, but from rethinking the problem from scratch. Now reflect. How do you make decisions? Do you default to comfort, consensus, or convention? Or do you pause and challenge every assumption at its root? This brings us to the first major pivot in thinking like the world's top 1%. Don't copy the existing model. Reconstruct it from the foundation up. This same principle applies to personal wealth. Most people ask, how do I earn more? But the elite ask, what value do people urgently need? What assets can I build once and benefit from repeatedly? What does financial independence require of me right now? These are not just better questions, they are wealth-generating questions. Let's connect that to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a book that redefined financial literacy. In it, Robert Kiyosaki states, the poor and the middle class work for money, the rich have money work for them. It's not just a slogan, it's a philosophy. Elon Musk does not work for money. He works to solve civilization-scale problems, climate change, space colonization, sustainable transportation. Money is a natural byproduct of solving meaningful problems at scale. Now ask yourself, what is the biggest problem you're currently solving? If the answer is simply paying my bills, then you are still operating in survival mode. And survival mode is where dreams go to stagnate. It's time to move from maintenance thinking to creation thinking. That begins with a brutal audit of your current habits. James Clear in Atomic Habits presents one of the most practical frameworks for lasting change. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. You may have goals. You may even have vision. But if your daily actions don't reflect the identity you claim to be building, it's self-deception. Let's look at Elon's system. He reportedly reads multiple books per week. He breaks down information across physics, engineering, economics, artificial intelligence, and more. He works in concentrated 5-minute time blocks. He spends more time thinking about root-level problems than he does attending meetings. Meanwhile, the average person wakes up, scrolls for 45 minutes, rushes into a job they dislike, eats on autopilot, consumes without reflection, and ends the day exhausted, wondering why wealth and fulfillment feel so distant. Here's the hard truth. If your habits don't match your ambitions, your goals are just wishes. Wishes don't build wealth. Systems do. Now, let's shift from mindset to risk. A key distinction between high-impact individuals and everyone else is their relationship with failure. Elon Musk famously risked every dollar he had after selling PayPal. He invested all $180 million of his earnings into SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City. At one point, he was borrowing money to pay rent. Most people would call that reckless, but Musk calls it commitment. Because he wasn't chasing comfort, he was chasing mission. And that's a word worth dissecting. Mission. When your life is tied to a mission, discomfort becomes data. Failure becomes feedback, and quitting becomes impossible. Think about the mission behind Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill interviewed 500 of the most successful individuals of his time. Failure becomes feedback, and quitting becomes impossible. Think about the mission behind Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill interviewed 500 of the most successful individuals of his time. They all had one trait in common: a burning desire, not vague hope, not wishful thinking, but an unshakable decision to succeed, no matter how long it took. You want to change your financial reality? Then start making decisions that match that level of seriousness. That might mean canceling distractions and reclaiming your time, reallocating income towards skills and investments, rebuilding your network around people who build, not complain, learning to live lean so you can reinvest more aggressively, because, as Hill put it, desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. If you're ready to move from wishing to creating, the first step isn't motivation, it's discipline. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. It's what gets Elon Musk up at 5 a.m. to engineer reusable rockets. It's what built Amazon, Apple, and SpaceX. And it's what will build your next level if you choose it. Let's continue where we left off, because true transformation doesn't happen in one insight, one book, or one breakthrough. It happens when you install new systems and live them daily until the extraordinary becomes your new baseline. In Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces the idea of identity-based change. You don't just want to set goals. You want to become the type of person who achieves them automatically. For example, don't aim to get rich. Become the person who builds income streams, studies capital allocation, and takes asymmetric bets with calculated downside. Don't aim to be productive. Become someone who protects their time like a CEO, not a consumer. This is where Elon Musk's mental model becomes vital again. He once said, "I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary." The key word here isn't talent, it's choice. If you want to move toward financial independence, you must install the same kind of decision-making filters high performers use. Let's walk through 4 practical shifts to implement right now, starting today. 1. Build thinking time into your schedule. Most people are busy reacting. High performers schedule time to think. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and even Warren Buffett spend hours each week just reading, reflecting, and reevaluating. You must treat your thinking time as sacred. Here's how to do it. Block 30 minutes per day, non-negotiable. Use prompts like, what are the top 3 bottlenecks in my life business right now? What opportunities am I ignoring because they feel uncomfortable? If I had to 10 times my income in 6 months without working more hours, what would I do? This level of deliberate, uninterrupted analysis is rare, and that's why it gives you the edge. Second, transition from earned income to scalable income. Robert Kiyosaki defines the 4 types of income. E. Employee income. S. Self-employed income. B. Business owner income. I. Investor income. The lower 2, business and investor income, are where wealth lives. The upper 2, employee and self-employed, are where work lives. So the question becomes, how do I shift from E/S to B/I without quitting my job overnight? Here's a roadmap. Phase 1. Use your existing income to fund skill acquisition, copywriting, investing, sales, coding, systems thinking. Phase 2. Launch a micro business or digital product around your core competency. Phase 3. Reinvest earnings into high-performing assets, index funds, private equity, scalable digital, IP. Phase 4. Systematize the business so it runs without you. This is how freedom is built. Slowly, deliberately, systematically, not through hustle, but through leverage. 3. Create a personal wealth operating system. The ultra-wealthy treat their personal life like a corporation. They operate on dashboards, not emotion. Here's how to install your own net worth tracker. Calculate your total assets minus liabilities monthly. Cash flow tracker. Know exactly how much you earn, spend, save, and invest. Financial freedom metric. Calculate your freedom number equals monthly expenses times 12 times 25. Habit dashboard. Track the daily actions that directly influence your net worth. Reading, prospecting, building, delegating. Success leaves clues. Wealth leaves footprints. If you aren't measuring, you're guessing. And guessing is not a professional strategy. 4. Build a power network with purpose. The fastest way to level up is not a course or book, it's access. You are one connection away from an entirely different financial trajectory. This echoes what Napoleon Hill found when studying the world's most successful individuals. Each of them cultivated a mastermind alliance, a strategic group of aligned minds who amplified each other's thinking and execution. To build your own, audit your current circle. Who energizes you? Who drains you? Start attending small, high-quality events, not just quantity, quality. Build value-first relationships. Don't ask what you can take. Ask what you can give. Document your journey publicly. Visibility breeds opportunity. Remember, you're not just building wealth, you're building a reputation. That reputation should precede you long before you enter the room. Elon Musk's decision filter. Will this move humanity forward? Let's return to Elon for a moment. He filters nearly every major decision through one lens. Will this move humanity forward in a meaningful way? That's a higher order filter. You may not be building rockets, but you can ask, will this move my family forward? Will this move my community forward? Will this move my financial future forward? Will this move me closer to the person I intend to become? If the answer is no, cut it. If the answer is yes, go all in. This level of decisiveness is what separates those who dabble from those who dominate. Let's talk about obsession. One of the most underappreciated traits in high performers is healthy obsession, not toxic hustle, not burnout, but relentless alignment. When Elon Musk was designing the Falcon 1 rocket, he was not optimizing for comfort. He debugged lines of code at 3 a.m. He negotiated supplier rates himself. Why? The mission mattered more than his mood. That's what you must tap into, not fake hype, not short bursts. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. They write, they build, they architect systems, they make decisions today that compound for decades. If you want wealth, freedom, and fulfillment, then stop consuming at the level of a follower and start creating at the level of a leader. And if you ever doubt your capacity, remember, the greatest breakthroughs in history were made by people no smarter than you. They just made different choices. So here's your invitation. Audit your systems. Upgrade your identity. Expand your network. Think in decades. Build with purpose. And remember, this is not a motivational video. This is your wake-up call to design a life that compounds value for yourself and everyone you impact. Your next level doesn't need permission. It needs action. And now, it's your move.